come flying out that back door. What are you doing? And I went, what? She goes, I'm standing there at the kitchen window just doing the dishes. The next thing I know, I see 2 tires fly by. I didn't know what the hell was happening. So, yeah, that was a funny, eventful day. That was great. I was laughing. I had fun.
Welcome to Open Seat at the Table. My hope is that together we can make this the largest dining table in the world. Doesn't matter where you're sitting, on a couch, in your bed, the backseat of a car, or even a real dining table, we can all sit together at Open Seat at the Table. My career path is led so that I sit and eat alone most nights, and I miss talking and having good conversations around the dining table with my friends and family. So to get that back, I've decided to ask random people to sit and enjoy a meal with me, to have a good conversation, and to tell us some of their stories. Everybody has a story somebody needs to hear. If this sounds interesting or exciting, please like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss a story. On to their stories. Welcome tonight. Thank you for joining us. This is Wayne. He's actually a good friend of mine, fellow driver, and we happen to be in the same area tonight, and so decided I was going to let him tell us his story. Wayne, how are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Tired?
Tired, yeah.
Pretty sure you are too.
Yeah, long days. Yeah. What happens when we're drivers, you know?
Yeah. I hope you don't mind.
Where were you born?
I was born in Rochester, New York. Stayed there until about 4 or 5. Then moved out to California to a place called Chona, and lived out there since we moved out there in '83. So grew up in Chona, and then once I graduated, before I graduated, I joined what they call an explorer's post, firefighting explorer's post. Did that for 2 years, and then joined the fire department right when I turned 18. And of course, couldn't go on any calls when I was in school. Damn it!
Yeah.
Free get out of class, but I'll go on calls after school.
Was it like paid per call? Yeah, they had the paid per call.
Well, at the time that I joined, it was volunteer.
Okay.
So, and then, I want to say maybe 93, 94, maybe even before that, it became PCF, which is paid call firefighter. But yeah, I did that for 20 plus years. Seen a lot of fires, more than I can count on my fingers and toes.
Yeah, I bet in 20 years, yeah. Right.
There was a fire right straight across from where my parents lived. Of course, I wasn't living with them then, but so we show up. My mom's just standing behind the gate, watching everything, and all of a sudden she sees this little short person grab the hose and just start going in. I said I freaked her out.
No.
Never thought she'd see her son
running into danger.
Running into danger, not running away from danger. So after the call, me and my buddy walked over, and that's when she told me, "You need to stop doing that crap." I'm like, "What?" Going into burning buildings like that. Sorry, it's my job. What do you want me to do? Stand on the outside? Yes, that would be nice.
Of course, moms would want you to,
And then I saved someone's house. Well, not to switch gears. That fire almost got hit by a cooler. It was right above the door. That's where it dumped out at. but the fire was so hot, and I'm literally inside the door, and I'm just spraying water, trying to get the smoke out, and something was telling me to back off. And I'm like, no, I need to fight this fire. And it's just, I need to back off. I need to back out. I'm like, whatever, fine. I backed out, and no sooner did I step just past the threshold, cool. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I actually heard you. I was actually listening.
I was listening this time.
And then I had an accident where I've had to, first time too, I've never thought I'd be rescuing 3 dead people. So that was fun and scary at the same time, because the way the vehicle was, it was on the edge of the road, almost falling over, but it was at the edge of the road. But down here is like a drop off. So with the jaws, I popped the driver's side rear door, because we had a DB in there. So while they were pulling him out, I was up in the driver's side. We had to literally roll the dash up and then pull him out. Well, once I got the driver door open, you can see that both of his knees were literally into the dash. But his left knee was completely blown.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. Well, once they rolled the dash, he started coming this way. And of course, I'm short, but now I'm shorter.
It's right in your face.
Yeah, right in my face. And I'm holding him. 2 other of my guys, or 2 of our other firefighters, come around and helping me get him out. And the one on the passenger side was easy to get to, because, level ground. Of course, I had to be I don't know why me.
You're the small guy. You can get into small places, I guess.
Yeah, but not when they're above me. Worked for a little bit in the plant that was there. Worked as a lubricator process. That was kind of a fun job. And then a couple of years later, I started working with DirecTV. Well, at the time it was Ironwood Communications. And then we got bought out by DirecTV. So I did that for 5 years. That was fun. Had a real big area to cover, which was where I lived: Ridgecrest, Roseman, Independence, Lone Pine, Big Pine, Bishop, sometimes Mammoth, most of Death Valley. Actually, all of Death Valley, Stovepipe Wells and Furnace Creek.
Okay.
Did that, and what's that one? Baker, all the way out to Baker too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was fun. I've been
like 500 square miles.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was all right. The only issue is I was working 6 days a week, with only 1 day off, and usually on the 6th day, I was coming from like Bishop area, driving back home, which was nice. I didn't have to go through Ridgecrest and back around. I could come down to Lone Pine, take a little shortcut, go the back way through like Death Valley and stuff like that,
right?
And then go in the back way to go home. That was fun. Then I got my buddy into it, and we would have some crazy nights. There was one night that we were driving through, and I'm ahead, and all of a sudden I just shut my lights off.
Don't our friends love us? I think I remember doing something similar to that one night, but
I slowed down and I kind of pulled off, to where he didn't see my brake lights at all. He was past me. I'm like, okay. Waited for a little bit. And I turn on my lights and just haul ass, catch up to him. But before I caught up to him, I shut my lights off. Luckily, the moon was out, where you could use the moon as somewhat of a guide because you could see the lines. As soon as I came up behind him, just those headlights, turned them on real quick. He told me I scared the living crap out of him because
He said he's getting pulled over because all of a sudden bright lights come
as soon
on.
as those lights came on, he's like veering like this. Oh, it was.
See, you shut
It was
all your
great.
lights off. I had all mine on independent switches, including the brake lights. So I could just flip my tail lights and my brake lights off, still leave my headlights on, so nobody behind could see.
Right. Yeah, I wish I would have thought of that.
That goes from going down to Mexico and doing some street racing.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've had fun, but other than that, life has been grand.
Good. Good. So, I remember when we were talking one time, you were telling me about a story about jumping your motorcycle next to your house. Fill us in on that story. The whole thing about your mom yelling at you as well.
Okay, so it first started out as my dad got me a motorcycle. It was a Kawasaki 100. I don't remember the year of it. Hey, it might have been like 70s one. It was an old bike. It used to be a street bike, got turned into a dirt bike. So he was having me use that to learn how to ride a motorcycle.
Okay.
But so when my dad started to teach me how to ride a motorcycle, he's like, all right, whatever you do, don't hit the front brake. All right. He goes, all right, it's 1 down, 4 up. I'm like, okay. So I was doing good. I was, learning it. I forgot about that front brake. Hit that front brake, dumped it. Of course, my mom's standing next to my dad. He kind of looks over and goes, oh.
She's not going to let him ride again.
So I wasn't really scared, but I was kind of nervous. So he got me back up, helped me get back up, helped me get the bike back up. He goes, get back on it. Can't be afraid. You have to get back on it. You can't just, be done with it. I'm like, okay. Got back on it, started it, kept on riding. Well, then my grandpa had gotten a Yamaha 250.
Nice bike.
Again, I don't remember the year. It was so long ago, but we called it Killer. This bike was, because it was a 2-stroke, was very powerful. It's dumped my grandpa several times, and he didn't want it anymore. So he gave it to my dad so me and him could go out riding. Well, my dad rode it for a while, and then decided to be a Mr. Hotshot and pop a wheelie. Dumped it. But in the process of dumping it, the peg hit his knee, caused an infection. It was nasty.
Well, long drawn out thing, yeah.
Yeah. So he was done. He was done riding it. So he goes, gave it to me. So I'd ride it to and from school. It was a nice ride. It was fun. Well, on my way home, in front of our house was an empty lot where a house used to be. Beautiful 2-story house. I think it caught on fire or it had floor damage and they didn't want to fix it, so they just tore it down. Well, their backyard was dropped down and they had railroad ties just on the back part of the yard to hold up the dirt and stuff so it wouldn't fall in when it rained or whatever. Well, with not being taken care of, those railroad ties fell down. So after a while, I'm when I was a kid, I would just ride my bike in through there, me and my friends. We wore it out so much that, it was perfect. So one day I just got the courage to take the jump. Well, at first I only did it a little, just to,
Test it.
yeah, test it. Well, I kept on testing it. The more I tested it, the more I would get higher and further.
Faster, you'd go and...
So there was this one day I was feeling good. It was a good day at school, and I'm just cooking. So I take the dirt road up to where I needed to get onto my road, and I'm coming around. I was like, today's the day. I'm going to hit that at however fast I felt comfortable going. I hit that, and the next thing I know is I'm up, and I'm like, hey, I can actually see the top of the roof of my house. Well, not knowing that my mother was in the kitchen at the window, which points this direction, but you could actually see who's pulling up because right next door was another house. So you could actually see who was pulling up at their house. So she's doing the dishes. Actually, she knows just at the top of the window, she sees the front tire and the back tire.
2 little feet dangling on the pegs.
2 feet. And I landed it, hit the brakes because, it was short, so I had to skid and just park it because it had no kickstand. She come flying out that back door. What are you doing? And I went, what? She goes, I'm standing there at the kitchen window just doing the dishes. The next thing I know, I see 2 tires fly by. I didn't know what the hell was happening. So, yeah, that was a funny, eventful day. That was great. I was laughing. I had fun. That was probably about the funnest, well, not the funnest day I've ever had, but as a kid, yeah, that was probably about the funnest day I've ever had. It was beautiful. And I just kept on doing it. And she just get more and more mad at me. But she knew I was careful, so.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And the first time, when you told me that story the first time, I could just see your feet going by and your mom sitting there coming out and going, what are you doing? You're going to kill yourself. You're going to break your neck.
It's so much better when she says it because she actually
Right.
seen it. But for me, just looking at the roof of the house.
Like, oh, I'm kind of high up.
Oh, there's a spot I need to fix there. I tell my dad about.
Yeah.
No, it was a blast. It was fun. And then, of course, I upgraded from that motorcycle to a 250 quad racer. Oh, that thing. Woo-hoo. I'd have friends tell me, man, was that you going across the... Because we had a dike that pretty much went all the way up into the mountains. They said they seen a 10-foot rooster tail coming off that quad. Because I was just...
Hammered out.
Yeah. And that was a blast. And that was the one that I got dragged under. That was fun. Because my buddy had a 400, and I was actually keeping up with that 400 on my 250 quad. And so he goes, well, hey, we're on lunch break. Let's swap. Because we went home for lunch. I was like, all right. I didn't think my parents would have a problem with it. At least my mom. Well, she did. Caught me. I was grounded. But she couldn't she was actually on her way to Ridgecrest. Told me I was grounded, so after football practice, this quad was going to be parked. Mine. Well, I was mad. There was this one little jump that I would take on my quad. Well, my buddy was in front of me on his dirt bike. I was on the quad. Well, when I took it, the back tire kicked up. I lost my footing. So when I landed, I was trying to get my foot back up on the peg. Because those pegs are about that damn long.
Yeah.
They're crazy long.
Yeah.
Well, I went up, and when I landed like this, and then like that. Well, in the process of hitting down like this, my foot slipped off. Went right underneath the back tire. Well, the back tires that I had on there were not your normal quad tires. They were the small racing tires. So, yeah, it just sucked my leg under. I was able to pull it out, try to get up on the peg. Yeah, it didn't work. This time it dragged me under and sucked me underneath that quad. And the only thing I vaguely remember is seeing the back tire come down and hit me right in my hip area.
Your shower is now
And then I don't remember anything after that. And then I wake up. My buddy's gone. He's already at school. So I get up, dust myself off, and I'm like, oh. So I got up real nice and easy because I hurt my hip. It was hurting bad. And I looked at the back. I was wearing shorts because right after school I had football practice. Well, I wasn't going then. So I hobbled over to my quad, still had my helmet on. So I was like, all right. I went to start the quad because the Kickstarter was on this side, same side as my hurt hip. Went to kick. Oh my God. The most sharpest pain I have ever felt just shot right up my leg. I went, oh, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, damn, how am I going to get this thing started? How am I going to get it home? How am I going to contact? I have no one to, I'm not going to hobble my ass home and leave the quad out here. No way. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I got a good leg. I'll just start it that way. So that's what I did. I got it started with this leg. Got all nice and comfortable. And what was nice about the front fenders is they were nice and just curved perfect, but they were wide out. So I could actually put both of my legs up there and just, cruise, screwing around. So I got my leg up on this fender, went to take off, killed it. It's like, no. So I had to get my leg back off, get back off, start it again, and I just said, I'm gunning it, whatever. I'm not going to have it die again. So that's what I did. I just gunned it, took off, got home, parked the quad, hobbled inside. I was like, well, crap. I think my mom had a cell phone at that time. It was the old flip phone.
Brick
dinosaur, phone. Yeah. I was like, I couldn't remember the number. I was like, crap. So my aunt lived right behind us. So I called her and I went, I wrecked on my quad. We need to go to the hospital. It's bad. So my aunt came over with my grandma's car, got me in the back seat. She goes, where's your mom? And I went, I think she's going to so-and-so, which at the time was a place where you get animals.
Oh, SPCA.
Well, you could get fish there. And
pet store.
Yeah, like a normal pet store. So we finally got over to where she was at, and even because we had railroad tracks through town, going over the railroad tracks on a nice cushioned seat hurt. I mean, my hip was hurt bad. And then, so we get to Ridgecrest, find my mom, go to the hospital. They take me in an emergency room, got x-rays. My hip wasn't broke. It was just majorly bruised. I had a cut right here on my inner thigh. And then, of course, I had rubber embedded in my right calf. And I didn't think having my calf scrubbed like someone scrubbing a kitchen floor. Oh my God, it was so much pain. So much pain. I thought cutting my leg when I was younger taking out the trash because I spun the bag and a piece of glass popped out and cut my leg wide open. This close from hitting the main artery in my leg. It was crazy. And, but yeah, took me home. And then I was laid up in my bed for about 2 weeks.
Thank you for sitting with us and talking, and I'll let you get your phone call, and appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you, Wayne, for sitting down with us and telling us some stories and having a meal with me, and appreciate the time you took out of your day. And like, comment, and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. And remember, treat your spouse like a king or queen, and you'll always have a great love life. Treat others better than you want to be treated. Have a successful social life. And work harder than anybody around you at work, and treat the job you're in like you own the business, and you'll have a successful business life. Thank you so much.